Hello and greetings to all of you Elder Scrolls Legends fans. My name is Zilbus and this is my first cast of the Elder Scrolls Legends gameplay. One of the things that I'd like to be doing here is talking about some of the decks and cards that you can create and build within this wonderful game. I've been a long time player of collectible and tradable card games, and the Elder Scrolls Legends, from the moment I first heard about it, has quickly become one of my favorite collectible card games out there. A lot of what's going on in the meta right now are just hard aggro decks. However, I'm hoping to focus a little bit about some other types of decks out there that you can build and create so that a little bit more of the variety of this game can be shown and demonstrated. Today I've got a quest where I need to get several warrior wins. So what I've done here is I've created a deck mostly based off of the purple cards with the idea in mind of generating some life gain. However, I've also got a few cards in this deck that are going to be specifically in here for triggering prophecies. I've got a Frostbite Spider out there that is a 3/2 with lethal, and the Midnight Sweep in case I get aggroed down. I've also got a couple of early taunters out here. Dark Guardians are really good. Tree Menders will help build up mana crystals. And we've got Preservers of the Root, who will become a 6/6 with guard once I get to 7 or more magicka. The late game is a very dominant power in this deck with Night Shadows, Skeletal Dragons, Blood Magic Lords, and Night Talon Lords all out there to generate either life gain or start doing reoccursion. So let's see how this plays. I'm just going to do a casual game to start off of. I mentioned that I've been playing since beta. I've made it down to legend rank a couple of times now. And I do enjoy very much the idea of creating and building new decks. So I'm hoping to share some of those as I go through these casts, and let's see what happens here. So it looks like I'm going up against a Spell Sword first off. Let's not start with the Midnight Sweep because that's a prophecy card, and I'd rather try and trip that off of a prophecy. Opponent is figuring out what cards they're going to keep. Ooh. So this is a really wonderful guy as he gives you the ability to summon more creatures out of your deck for free. The Night Mother. All right, I'm just going to drop that right away. I want to get this out here because it's going to start watching everything that dies on his side of the field. Spell Swords generally run a lot of removal, so I'm not expecting that to really sit around for very long. Let's throw up the Tree Mender and block that. I'd rather not take early damage if I don't have to. So it looks like this guy is running some sort of a dragon build. Let's try and hold him off a little bit. The Night Mother is just a great card because anytime you're trying to work off of a deck that has the slay ability, it just gives you this thing to slay. And that was one of the ideas that I had in mind when I put this deck together, was that I wanted to be slaying things. The other interesting thing about it is that if it gets out there long enough, it'll just win the game because it'll deal 20 damage to them and let me gain 20 life right back. Now, I'm not in love with the fact that he's got a 5/5 over there, but I'm not going to risk one of the best cards in my deck actually against it. I'd rather just take some early damage because he'll put things over here that I can use to deal with that. And there's our first dragon. Looks like he's flooding that side of the board. That could be a problem for me a little bit later on. Another tree mender, that's good. Get some more. All right, so let's get... Ooh, see, now that's what I was talking about with this guy just being so good. There's a skeletal dragon that just showed up for nothing. And now I've got some nice taunters over here to try and hold him off. So this isn't really an aggro deck. This is much more mid-range, not really along the control side of things. I've always considered control to be a deck that just sort of sits back and watches everything that the opponent does and tries to answer it immediately. And in the Elder Scrolls Legends, the colors that are doing that are white and blue, or I suppose more yellow and blue. That's the mage class. That's really more of your control deck right there. Oh, goody, I got my spider back. I've always been a fan of the Reanimator thing, and I was really happy when the expansion for Skyrim came out that they introduced the skeletal dragon in there, because that's really neat to me. I don't want to attack you yet, so let's start using this. So I don't want to start breaking his runes here, because then he might start getting more cards out there, and I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage with all the power base that he's got over here. I'm going to drop a Night Talon Lord on this end of the field, because this is one of those cards where he pretty much just has to answer it right off the bat, or he's going to start falling behind to it. Because what the Night Talon Lord does is anytime it slays a creature, first off, it's got, that's unfortunate, 8 power out there, and it's got the ability to say that anything it kills shows up on my side of the field. So now I'm kind of hurting. I'm down to 5 health, and I've got 2 unstoppable rages in my hand, and I'm going to need to use one by dropping that and just throwing an unstoppable rage and sweeping his field away. And I still don't want to be attacking him, so let's do this again. I want to get some more taunters onto both sides of the field. Let's keep killing something every turn. And I want more mana, and I'm going to bring back that night. Actually, let's bring back the skeletal dragon. I'm bringing this back because I know that I'm going to want more taunters out there. I'm really low on life at this point. Not exactly a good thing. Oh, look at that. He just conceded. How high up did the Night Mother go? Looks like I only got 9 things dead there. One of the things that I really love about the Elder Scrolls Legends is the fact that they're giving you a free card at the end of every 3 wins. That's something very unique to this game that I haven't seen before out there. You get at least 15 coins too, and that can go up to 50. That free card, I've actually pulled a legendary off of there once. I was super happy about that. I want to play at least 2 more games here and see how this goes before I end this cast. I don't want to let these things go too long. Alright, so I've got another warrior here. I don't really want to start with an 8-drop, and there's no reason to be starting with a Solitaire. You know, I was actually really surprised in the last game that this stayed on the field and that he didn't just kill it. One of the big weaknesses in this game to a lot of the decks that I've seen is that if you can't do anything by turn 3, you're probably just losing. And that's actually one of the things about going second that's so important in this game. I mean, there are other games out there that are collectible card games where you always just want to go first. But in this game, because this ring lets you go 3 times, you never want to go second. Or I'm sorry, you never want to go first. You always want to be second. Have that draw, especially in a deck where you're running ramp cards that fire off on turn 3, because then you can fire them off a turn early. So that was a fairly interesting move on his end. Looks like he's trying to be a little bit more on the aggressive side, and he's going to pay for that with the fact that I just pulled a prophecy off of that rune breaking. Because now I can sweep his field. And I'm going to drop this over here. This is another one of my favorite creatures in the game right now, with the ability of slaying to bring a creature back from my discard pile. I think in a future cast I'm going to focus a little bit more on this creature and show you exactly what he can do. So now it looks like he's trying to build up his other side of the board, and I'm going to answer him by dropping my other one of these, which I've just drawn. I've got a little bit of an advantage here in board state, which I might be about to lose. No, that's actually not that serious. Yeah, sure, I'll trade you. Because that's just going to happen anyways. Now that's an interesting choice. So now I've got a choice. I can either bring out Night Shadows or him. This guy pretty much just won the game for me last time, and I'm going to bring him out. Yeah, let's keep the pressure up. Unfortunately, the one downside to him is that he is RNG, or random number generated based. So the computer is basically deciding which card I'm going to get. However, pretty much any card that I acquire is going to help me. This guy definitely seems to be running a beast form deck where everything that he does pulls cards out. So let's see what I get here. There you go. I can only kill 2 of his guys. I'd like to stop his life gain. He's winning right now, so I don't really want to be pushing too much against him and letting him draw more cards. I'm going to try and focus a little bit more on gaining some life. Although, as I look at the board state, yeah, I can attack him. I'd actually forgotten he'd gained some life there, so I didn't just break another one of his runes. And he is continuing to swing at my face. Oh, that could be game. Yep, that's game. That's actually one of the things that I've noticed about the downside of the life gain decks, and the idea of trying to gain life in this game back, is that you're forced into the card. So when I drop Night Shadow, for example, and it gets silenced or unsummoned or just about killed right off the bat, I've just lost an entire turn. This is, of course, just one of those things of how the game goes. Because if the opponent couldn't do something like that, then that would be the only thing anybody would ever play. And these cards are way too high to start with. Ooh, his speaker right off the bat. That's actually really helpful. The one thing that worries me is I don't really have any ways of protecting that card once I put it down. He's pushing for an immediate attack here. I'm going to drop this onto the other side of the field because I don't really want to trade with that. This is better for me to keep out on the board. And it's actually worth risking a little bit of early damage for. Because for as long as this is on the field, I'm keeping a higher Magicka. Now that's interesting. He's choosing to go for the aggressive build. Over the knowledge that I've got this. So he's probably playing aggro. I mean, these two cards do have prophecy keywords. Now my guess on what he's going to be doing here, since he seems to be playing for aggro, is he's going to just kill that and send this up right at my face. And I'm actually going to put this over here because I'm going to throw an Unstoppable Rage here and just sweep his field. Interesting. I'm actually going to do my attacks first. I always try and remember to do any of my attacks first because if I do trip a prophecy right here, and that prophecy is a creature that he decides to summon onto this side of the field, then it's another thing I can just kill. Unstoppable Rage is just one of those incredibly powerful cards in this game because of its ability to just completely change how the battlefield is set. And now he's trying to protect his field because he can see that I'm winning. With him at 9 and me at 17. My last his speaker. I'm going to bring out the Night Mother trade here and bring that down. Young Mammoth is one of those cards that sees a lot of play out there because for just 3 Magicka, you're getting a 4/4 with Breakthrough, and that's pretty good. I'm actually just going to use the Night Mother. I don't want to trade the his speaker when I can see that I've got a Skeletal Dragon in my hand I can use to block this. I'm not really expecting this to fire to reach 20 creatures this game. A little bit of removal there. I'm going to use the Solitaire and bring that back, that Skeletal Dragon. Actually, I take that back. Let's go with Nagi. Because he is something that he can't answer outside of his creatures, and with the lives being what they are, and I'm still not finding any of my life gain creatures, I need to make certain that his units aren't hitting me anymore. Ooh. Sower of Revenge. That's another one of those super powerful creatures because even if I don't kill it, oh, now we're into decision time. I'm at 10. If he's got another Fell the Mighty, I'll just lose. I don't want to risk it. Now that's actually not something I see a lot of people play because the idea of this card is that it's only going to work in situations where you're ahead on life. His board state, however, just got a lot worse, and now I'm willing to throw out the Night Talon Lord. And I'm also going to drop another thing on the other side of the field. That 6/6 Mammoth will protect this side if he drops anything. I mean, he can still shoot right at me here. That's a good card. I don't see a lot of people running this. Every once in a while, that's about it. See, and that was what I was worried about when I came putting that down earlier. So now I'm back in that situation where I've got to protect my board again. And I'm going to use this to bring back the Night Talon Lord because I need my health. I can't play it right now, though. Another one of those. That would just kill me if I swung into this. Alright, I'm going to try and hold him off and hope this works. You know, everything is going to be based on this, so I may as well try and finish him. Because if he answers this card, he'll win. If he doesn't answer this card, I'll win. He's got an answer. I'm going to end this cast here. I hope everybody enjoyed this. Give them a little bit of idea of some of the cards that are out there and some other types of decks. Have a good day.